A lot of provider men hate their wives.
Working at Target taught me, unless I'm like a super millionaire, bro, which I will be, I would not be like one of them hardcore provider dude. Cause every one of them I seen was absolutely miserable, bro.
Hey, babe, so what's going on that these work husbands are going to work and expressing how much they hate their wives?
Men's ancient lies exposed. You know, in this patriarchy system, men have always paraded themselves as providers. They've made women believe that they enjoy providing. They just want to provide for their family and for their women. They love going to work. But I tell you, that's not the truth. A lot of men are internalizing hatred for the women they are providing for.
Look, I only personally know 2 married men in marriages where they earn less than the wife. Both those women are downright cruel to them, but still it's just 2. Maybe most are happy. They are not. In most situations that I know as well, where the woman makes more than the man, except for I think 2. I know a lot of married people. So except for 2 of them, the rest of them, the women are treacherous. And I'm going to tell you exactly why, and you're going to understand those women. Whoa, you didn't expect this one. If you've ever worked at a place that's like blue collar, where all the guys like provider guys, they drive nice big trucks, this, that, and the third, you will realize that a lot of them fucking hate their wives. A lot of provider men hate their wives. Okay, at home, ladies, I know y'all like, no, not mine. Well, some of them take marriage very seriously, especially the ones who are like deeply like in religion and all that. A lot of them take it very seriously. Like a lot of them hate y'all, and the men know it. The men know, though. Boy, if you're ladies, if you're a housewife and your man working 50, 60 hours a week, he probably fucking hates you. Why am I bringing that up? Well, men have been conditioned to patronize women. We have. Like, there are provider men who pay all the bills. He pay the rent, the mortgage, whatever. His woman get mad at him and he'll sleep on the couch. I'm in the doghouse tonight, y'all. Boy, yeah, y'all try to hop on the game. I'm in the doghouse. She got me sleeping on the couch. Like, now let's think about that. Can you fucking imagine you're a man who don't pay no bills? Your woman provide for you. You get mad at her and she gotta sleep on her couch. That shit would never fucking happen. Because women have not been conditioned to patronize men. Men will hold that shit in. The fact that like he goes to work all fucking day. Y'all act like he's just paying bills. No, he's sacrificing his time, effort, money, energy, years off the end of his life just to give you that motherfucking Lululemon, that goddamn 10-can Stanley cup y'all carry around, and that motherfucking SUV, and to put you in that motherfucking house. And you don't get the acting right. Trust me, in the back of his head, he pissed off. He know you mad at him, so you not answering the phone, but he also know he pay that motherfucking phone bill. So if there's anybody you answering, it better be fucking him. Men think these things in the back of our heads. A lot of us just never verbalize them unless they're around the homies, or a lot of guys just never do. Now, some guys who, don't get me wrong, I pay the bills up in this bitch. Who the f you talking to, girl? I know some of y'all done went through that, but a lot of men don't. Here's the thing. Women aren't conditioned to patronize men like men are conditioned to patronize women. So I promise you, if you've ever been a woman who earned more money and paid more bills than that man, or paid all the bills, and you felt that shit rise up on you like he not acting right and you paying all the motherfucking bills, like, nigga, I make all the money and I do. Don't ever get with a man that pay all the bills for you, because that's exactly how he feel when you don't act right. Think about it. You done put a man on the couch before where he paid the bills, baby. He's patronizing you. He letting you have that. If the situation was flipped and you paid all the bills and he got mad at you, you ain't sleeping on no fucking couch. That's crazy.
He said men are being conditioned to patronize women. The patriarchy system destroying human lives. Hello fam, how you all doing? Please take a moment to like this video and subscribe. This video is focused on the provider mindset, men and their ancient lies. You know, men have always made women believe that they're happy being providers. They are happy going to work and providing for their families. But I tell you, a lot of men resent women. They are not happy doing that. They have to do that because the society made them believe that that's what they're supposed to do, because people expect them to do that, and that's why they're doing it. But deep down, a lot of men resent women for that.
Hey babe, so what's going on that these work husbands are going to work and expressing how much they hate their wives? And the reason why I ask this is because me personally, when I used to work at a collection agency a couple years ago, me and pretty much everybody on my team, which majority of them were men, and even the big bosses would go to the back and have lunch together, kind of chill, talk and stuff like that, right? And there was multiple times that the conversation of marriage would come up because I was single and the youngest one there at the time. And babe, when I'm telling you, they would all go on rants as to how much they cannot stand their wives, how much they just can't wait until their kids get to the age that they can leave their wives and not go through child support, like how sick they make them, how lazy they are, all of them. And I remember it was a time that I was like, so out of all y'all sitting at these two tables, none of y'all have nothing good to say about y'all wife? Silence. None of them had nothing good to say about their wives outside of their kids. Like most of them would be like, well, I mean, she gave me great kids. I love my kids. And that's it. And then more recently, I was back in Florida visiting a friend, and we went to a little bar and we started kicking up casual conversation with these other three dudes. Babe, they were married. And when they asked me, was I married? I said no. They said, man, don't do it, man. I can't stand my wife. She's annoying. The exact same thing that all those men were saying at that table all those years ago was the exact same thing those men were saying this past weekend. What is going on? It's getting crazy out here.
I made a post a couple of days ago, 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken, and that post was some pages I got from a book, A History of a Wife. And that post was about how much of a business contract a marriage is. How much of a business contract marriage is. I've spoken about this before, and I always get people having different opinions, different things to say, opposing opinions in the comment section. In the ancient days, women were expected to cater for the home. This was the contract. This was the agreement. The man would go out there and provide and protect. Because those days, women were being preyed on a lot. So men were protecting the women and protecting the home, while the women would be indoors or stay at home or in their environment and cater for the home. Women were the homemakers. This was an agreement. Men will bring the money. Women will use the money and cater for the entire family. That was the agreement. That was the contract. I made a video about this not too long ago. In this modern age, modern men are still wanting that type of treatment, but they are refusing to be providers. And these are the providers that are complaining, they're hating their women. They have this internalized hatred for their women. But the fact that they have to go out there and do the work and the woman stays home and caters for the house, they are not happy. They are not happy. And the other side of the story of women earning more than their husbands and them not being happy, it's called human nature. Especially when you feel like you are doing the most work and the man is not pulling the weight as much as he's supposed to. Everybody has that tendency of being angry. It takes a whole lot for you to suppress that. You understand? It does take a whole lot for you to suppress that. I always say that before we make some certain decision, we should consider the human nature in us and human tendencies. It's normal for people to feel cheated, because in a situation where the wife earns more than the husband and she provides more, she feels cheated in that setting, because the society has made us believe that it's the man's responsibility to provide. And the men that are providing and they're resenting their wives, they don't like it, but they have to do it because the society said that's how it's supposed to be. And they have to patronize women. They've been conditioned to patronize women even when they're not happy.
Working at Target taught me, unless I'm like a super millionaire, bro, which I will be, I would not be like one of them hardcore provider dude. Cause every one of them I seen was absolutely miserable. Bro, I would literally be like a therapist up in there as a cashier. Like a dude come in with his family on like a Sunday. He want to be watching football on his one off day, but he get dragged out with them. Wife rocking Lululemons and Golden Goose sneakers. They drive a Range Rover or Escalade. The wife and kids would go to get Starbucks, and every single time these dudes would complain to me about how much they hate their life, about how all they do is work all the time. Their wife spend all their money, and how they basically got no freedom. Sometimes the convos would go deeper too, and they'd be like, bro, we live in check to check. We can barely even afford it. Meanwhile, his girl spending like $800, $1,000 at Target, bro, and finna go to Somerset Mall right after that. Bro, who would want that, bro? Now imagine if both of them worked, they would be able to afford that stuff easily. They could leave their kids with generational wealth. You know, the average black person passed down $0 in generational wealth. And we over here crying about, who go pay bills, all this, all that. So your kids could either had generational wealth, had a way easier, like start off way ahead. But now they not. They gonna start off behind the curve because you wanted to be super provider, super dad, and your girl spending your kids' future college money at Lululemon. And you keep having to reverse mortgage your house so she can afford a Range Rover because she don't want to work. Now your kids don't have a paid off house they can sit. And you in tons of debt. You never gonna be able to retire, bro. You're cooked.
Men, we need to understand that men are also humans. They can get angry, they can internalize hatred, they can get jealous, they can get fed up. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because some women believe that because men are supposed to be providers, then men should go ahead and provide. Put yourself in their position. You have to go to work and provide for your entire family. At some point, you will start resenting them. At some point, you will get fed up. At some point, you want to control. That's why a lot of men have this tendency of wanting to control the woman, especially those men that are into the traditional marriage kind of a thing where they have trad wives. They believe they own that woman. It's like they just bought a pet. Since I'm feeding you, I'm responsible for your life. I might as well own you. That's their mindset. And I think every human being on planet Earth have that tendency of thinking that way. So if you don't want to be treated badly as a woman, you have to stand on your feet and have your own money, have your own thing working for you. And if you've chosen to get married, or if you're already married, you have to negotiate with your husband. Talk about how you guys are going to run the home so both of you will be happy. I believe both partners should come together and work as a team. Forget about what the society has put in place. Forget about what the society is saying. Forget about what people are doing, what people believe in. Focus on the both of you and on what you think is going to be best for the both of you, so both of you can live happily in your relationship or marriage. Do not heap all the load or the burden on one person because the society says it has to be this way. The society has been ruining marriages and life for the longest time. So don't join that queue.
Hate their wife.
He raises a lot of good points, but I'll tell you why I believe that the whole trad wife and, being the provider, most of the time and sometimes is not going to lead to long-term success. Typically from the experiences that I've seen with the people who have that lifestyle is typically you're having a trade-off. Like, for example, somebody who's providing a woman with a very lavish lifestyle and she doesn't really provide much back to him. Typically, a lot of the times, it's somebody who is getting a girl who's a much higher in terms of looks, and then he's doing this trade-off where I provide you with a lot of money and you are much better looking than me. The reason why I think a lot of these provider relationships are honestly very risky for the woman is because they look a lot of fun on social media and all this stuff for like 2, 3, maybe even 5, 6 years. You start to realize that the reality is most marriages do not work out and most relationships do not work out. And I know it sounds pessimistic to say, but you're kind of setting yourself up to be taken advantage of if you are completely reliant on another person. Because in his example, he talks about how men who are typically the providers actually secretly hate their wives. Because what I think typically happens is when you are the one that's doing majority of the work, you're like, well, I'm providing for the house, I pay for the car, I pay for the Wi-Fi, I pay for the phone bill. But, I guess like she is good with the kids. And if you have any argument, it starts to become this like thing where you think really deeply about where, I shouldn't be getting disrespected like this. This is ridiculous. I'm paying for all this stuff. And like this hidden thing of resentment starts to build up. And now this woman who has not been working for, let's say, 7 to 10 years, has no work history, has been essentially reliant on this husband forever. Now, if he decides that he wants to cheat on you, speak to you disrespectfully, you're kind of stuck. You don't know what to do because you're like, I can't leave him. He pays for everything. I haven't worked in the last 5, 6 years. I'm probably not going to be getting any jobs that pay more than 20 an hour. And like I said, 99% of the times I see guys who have this provider lifestyle, it's not guys who are like multimillionaires. It's guys who do like pretty well, like high 6 figures. And then they'll like trade this like relationship because the girl that they're with is typically above their level of attractiveness and they're having this trade-off. So then if this girl starts to, get less physically attractive, the guy's like, well, you know what? She's not holding up her end of the bargain. And there's a lot of women that want this spot. And then what happens? My advice here is not to sit there and say that there's not plenty of guys who are more than willing to be providers. But what I am saying is it's very risky in today's day and age. As a guy, if you're making an above average amount of money, even me, I have the ability to support, let's say, my wife and a metaphorical child. I would honestly kind of judge my wife a little bit if she just told me she did not want to work, when she knows that if she worked, even if she made $60,000 a year, that would help us, buy a house an extra 3 years quicker. That would help us, be able to go on more vacations. That would be able to help us, essentially expedite our life by 7 or 8 years, just by you having a pretty average job. The next time you see a couple or a guy or girl who is bragging about, having that provider lifestyle for a little bit, go check on how they're doing in 7 to 8 years, because I think it just is something that looks cool on Instagram. But hey, what do you think?
Worked at a place that's blue collar, where all the guys provider guys, they drive nice big trucks, this, that, and the third. You will realize that a lot of them fucking hate their wives. A lot of provider men hate their wives.
Let me tell you another reason why these men hate their wives. Imagine you go to work for 10 to 12 hours a day, doing back-breaking work in construction, etc. And you come home to find out your wife that has no kids is at home not doing shit else but spending your money, your hard-earned money. You're making close to 6 figures from all that overtime, working 60 hours a week, and you come home to find out your wife is giving you chores after spending your money all day? I'd hate her too, bro. You don't even have kids of your own, but yet you have a big old baby at home, spending all your money on Lululemon and Stanley Cups, and then when you get home after your 12-hour shift, instead of getting a nice hot meal and some haute toi, she tells you, hey, come do some chores. I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed. And this is why the provider man stuff doesn't work when you don't have kids, because you're not building up to anything. You're basically subsidizing her life because she doesn't want to work, and you're the provider man. You're the sucker. You're working so she could live instead of having her work and you guys could build something together. So you'll never really save any money for anything better or anything. You're just it's a black hole, just throwing your money into it. Here, take my money, bro. That's basically what you're doing. And that's why I personally won't ever do it. No provider man shit for me unless I have kids. So hey, that's just me though. But y'all be safe out here. Some of you guys, your husbands hate you, and hopefully you do better.
Throughout these early cultures, it is evident that the role of the wife was predominantly shaped by legal, economic, and social imperatives, with significant influence from religious and mythological narratives. Marriage was less about personal connection and more about social order and economic stability, with wives fulfilling crucial roles within the confined architecture of household and family. Yalom's exploration in this part of her work highlights how these ancient practices have laid the groundwork for contemporary understandings and expectation of marriage and wifehood, showing both continuity and transformation over the millennia. That was gotten from a book titled A History of the Wife. And from what the author said, she made it clear that the ancient practices of marriage laid the groundwork for the contemporary understanding and expectation of marriage. There's a continuity when it comes to marriage. The way the ancient people understood marriage and practiced marriage is what the modern people are also doing. Let's talk about the modern men. Modern men expect women to still play those roles, to still be traditional in marriage, but they are not coming forth when it comes to being 100% provider. Modern men don't want to provide 100%, but they expect women to play the traditional wife role 100%. Women are not even happy playing that role anymore because they went through hell playing that role in the past. Men felt like they owned them. Men felt like they could talk to them and treat them anyhow. Some men saw them as slaves because they were feeding them and catering for them. And those women, most of them, they have means to cater for themselves, so they had to stay put in that relationship. It's part of human nature to act in that way. When they feel like they provide for you, they feed you, they start having this belief that they own you. Regardless of the gender, humans have that tendency. Women know better and they have better opportunities. Women are not fending for themselves, learning skills. They want freedom because when they were in that position, they lost their identity. They had nothing to their name. They were just there to give birth and take care of the children and the home for men. So as a woman, if you want to be respected, earn your own money. This is what a lot of women are fighting for. They want partnership. They want the man to bring his own money. While they bring their own money into the relationship, they come together as a team, as a partner. They build a home that is conducive for both parties, a home that has respect. Both parties are going to respect each other and no one is going to lord over anyone. That's what a lot of women are fighting for. And I guess that's the reason why people are using the word partnership. Some people are shying away from using the word husband and wife because they feel like when they use that word husband and wife, it means they are talking about the ancient marriage practice. When you have money, people respect you. That's the truth. That's how the world is structured. When you have money, people respect you. So as a woman, go out there and make your own money. Have your own money. So your man will respect you. Do not depend on a man to feed you 100%. Whoever that feeds you owns you. Whoever that feeds you 100% controls you. So fight for your own respect. Fight for your own identity. Be your own person. Have your own money. Have your own thing working for you. From the videos I've played, it's evident that a lot of men still have that mindset of marriage being a business contract. Because a lot of men have been conditioned to see things that way. That's how the society is. So you might be thinking that, oh, you're getting into a partnership, but you don't know that your partner is seeing it as a business contract. Even if you have a conversation with the man still sees it that way. I always tell people that marriage is a business and it's give and take. You can't just be taking and taking and taking. The other party is going to get upset, get fed up at some point. So you have to always bring something to the table. Men are concerned about carrying on their lineage. They want that and they want sex. Aside all that, as a woman, you also have to have your own money. Money gives power, money brings respect. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Click this video here to watch why modern men are entitled, why modern men feel entitled over women. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.